Hello, this video is my gluteal isometric series. If you are a patient of mine, you know this series very well. This one is intended for you to not have to worry about the clock or looking at your photographs or your videos you've taken in the clinic and just press play. So what you'll need is a TheraBand. I have a purple one. You want something that is slightly heavy, it's got some weight to it. There are two ways to tie this TheraBand around you. You can double up the TheraBand to make this exercise much harder, or you can do what I call a single wrap. So the double wrap, you take the middle part of the TheraBand, you put it above your knees, like so, cross the TheraBand underneath your legs, and then tie a little bow at the top. Okay, for a single wrap, we'll just take the middle part of the TheraBand on the back side of your thighs. Tie everything together and make a bow. So whichever one you choose to do is fine. If you're feeling like, oh, I haven't done these in a while, you might want to start with the single wrap. If you're feeling like you're ready to be challenged more, you can double wrap this. Or you can even take two TheraBands and double wrap them and really increase the intensity of the exercise. Okay, so we'll start on our backs. You're gonna lie down in a hook lying position, like so. And then you separate your feet hip distance apart. You push your feet in towards your butt just a little bit, and then press your knees out away from each other so that your knees align with your hips, and pull your belly and keep a little tone there. We're gonna hold here for a minute. And while you're holding, I want you to keep your breath very equal and steady. And you should already start to feel, oh, there's a little bit of heat being generated on the side hips here, or the side glutes. So keep your breath, take an inhale. And exhale, and then look down and see that your knees are still in line with your hips. You're gonna have to constantly check in with parts of your body. Are your shoulders resting down away from your ears? Are you keeping a little tone in your belly? Try not to arch your back big here. You wanna keep your back relatively flat on the ground in a position that doesn't hurt your back. And then if things hurt, just back off the contraction a little bit. But generally speaking, most people in this position are pretty good, pretty safe. Okay, so we are 1 minute in from the hook lying position. From here, you're gonna tuck your butt under and then lift your pelvis up. For some of you, you only come here. If you can, lift all the way up into that bridge, so we've got a nice straight line from my knees, my hips, and my shoulders. We're not doing a yoga bridge where you're going into a back bend. You want to keep it straight, so look for that straight line. And then look down that your knees are lining up with your hips, and you're still, again, keeping some tone in your belly. If this starts to hurt your back, you're just going to drop your hips down a little bit and hold it there. You want to find a position of comfort that you can be in for a minute. Now, with all this chattering, we've already been up here for 30 seconds, so we only have another 30 seconds to go. So again, check in that you've got equal weight in the right and left foot, that your belly remains tight, but you can still breathe. So you want to take a steady inhale and then a steady exhale. You should start to feel a lot more heat in the backside of the gluteus maximus. Is joining the party now, not just the side glutes. Couple more seconds here. And exhale. Good. Now from here, we're gonna do a little dynamic movement. You're gonna drop your hips a little bit and then lift it up. So we're no longer in an isometric with part of the motion, but we're still pressing out, pressing our knees away from each other and keeping the knees in line with the hips. Now, we say hips, we mean the bony part of your hips. We don't mean the soft tissue that might extend out a little bit more for some of us. Just be very kind to yourself and keep the knees in line with your hips. So we're pulsing and we're adding a little active range of motion here. So now those glutes should really be firing up, very warm now. For some of you, you might start to feel a little tired here, a lot of burn, a lot of muscle fatigue. We have about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. If you need to take a break for this minute. For those of you who can stay up, we're gonna do what's called a hula. So you're gonna soften your right glute, then squeeze your right glute. Soften your left, then squeeze your left. Soften the right, squeeze the right. Soften the left, squeeze the left. Keep going. And what you're gonna feel is that you're drawing like a little bit of a smiley face with your sitting bones or your ischial tuberosities. So left side, squeeze, soften the right, squeeze the right, soften the left, squeeze the left. So again, we're doing a little activation. This is gonna teach you that this is how you correct some things when you're doing some Pilates-based exercises or movement-based exercises. We have 5 more seconds. And other side, good, ready, come on down. So now we turn onto our side. We're gonna go into a clamshell position. So your knees will be in line with your hips and your shoulders. So you don't wanna bring your knees forward here. We wanna keep them back. So you wanna think of bringing your hips forward, keep your belly nice and tight, and your knees in line with your shoulders. Then you're gonna open your legs into a clamshell and hold an isometric here. If this hurts your knees, you'll straighten your legs out, then you lift your top leg up and then kick it back. This is also the harder version of this exercise. So I'm gonna hold this version because this feels better on my knees. And for you at home, you can either choose the clamshell version or the straight leg version. Hard to see because the video kind of cuts off here. So if I scoot up, you can kind of see my legs here and up and then back. And you should feel this in that top side glute quite a bit. It's just scooting down. Again, belly stays tight, shoulders down away from your ears. So you don't want to come here and just be like, oh, this exercise is so awful. Yes, it feels awful. I don't like it myself, but what it does do is it really wakes things up and it really helps prevent knee injuries, hip injuries, and back injuries, and it can correct some mechanics of the foot as well. So you get a lot of bang for your buck on this exercise. And we have about 10 more seconds here, so keep holding. And take an inhale, take an exhale, and then we're gonna flip around and do the other side. So whatever you did on the first side, you're gonna do on this side. So on this side, I'm gonna do the straight leg version. At home, if you wanna do the bent knee version, again, you don't line everything up. You would just open up into a clamshell like that. If you're doing the other version that I'm doing, straighten both your legs, take your top leg up, kick it back. You should feel it in that top glute there. Keep your belly nice and tight and hold. If you have a hard time feeling this, I usually tell people, put your finger on that side glute and just feel the muscle kind of kick your finger out or push your finger out. So it works to help facilitate that. Keep your breath steady. So take an inhale and then exhale out. Inhale in and exhale out. For some of you, this may feel too hard to do all the way through, so you might need to take a break in between. That's okay. The other piece of advice I have here is that you start on the side that's more difficult. So if your left side's weaker, you would start with your left side up. And if your right side is stronger, you would do that on the second side. Okay, and take a break. So the standing version of the gluteal isometrics, as you can see, I kind of deceived you all. It isn't completely isometric. There are some dynamic motions, and we're going to go through that. So again, our TheraBand is tied either once or twice around our upper thighs. You'll take your feet hip distance apart. You'll sit your butt back. So I'm going to give you the side view here. I'm going to sit your butt back like you're sitting into an imaginary chair. Notice it doesn't have to be a big squat. This is a gluteal centric squat. We're not going for the quads, which would look like that. You see my knees stay over my ankles. and I'm shooting my butt back. What can also help is just putting your fingers there onto your glutes and feeling that you're engaging those muscles in, and again, pushing your fingers out away. So we're gonna turn back this way. We're gonna hold this for a minute. And we're about 15 seconds into this one already, which is nice. And holding here, belly nice and tight, shoulders down. And check in. Do you have equal weight on the right and left side? Do you need to adjust your stance a little bit here? Take an inhale. And exhale. If this hurts your knees at all, you'll want to come out of the squat a little bit. So instead of being so deep, you'll maybe come into it just right there. Again, you'll feel it in your butt, regardless if it's just a little bit or if you're sitting back more. If you have a hard time finding that position, what you want to do is put a chair behind you and act like you're about to sit down into the chair, and then just hover. So my joke here is always I'm getting you ready for the public restroom experience, so you feel nice and strong to stay there. And you don't want to get anything on your pants, rather you want to aim everything back. That's my joke. Laugh if you want. Ready? Now we're going to take it more dynamically. So we're going to come in and out of this. So it's a little bit of a mini squat. We're not doing a big squat. Not meant to target anything more than the glutes. So if you're feeling this in your quads, check your form that you're sitting back, sitting back, sitting back. We're targeting the glutes right now. We want to target the glutes. We're not doing this. Okay? That doesn't mean that that squat is wrong. It just means for right now, for this series of exercises, we're targeting the glutes. There's a lot of shaming on everyone's squats. And I think you just have to think of what your intention is, what you're trying to target. And if you're trying to target the glutes, then that's our intention. If you're trying to do quad work, which is important to do, we're going to do a different version of a squat. Okay? Keep going. I'm going to move back this way so I can see the clock a little bit better for all of you. 5 more seconds. Good, and then stand up. Shift your weight onto your right leg. Stand on your right leg, take your left knee out to the side, kick your left leg back, and hold here. So here you should feel that glute fire up on your standing leg more. You don't want to let that hip stick out. You really want to lift up and out of that hip. And you're holding strong here. So both glutes are working, but it's really the standing leg that's doing most of the work here. Belly stays nice and tight and strong. That right glute should be really fired up now. For you at home, it's going to look like I'm pointing to my left side, but hopefully I've mirrored this correctly for all of you. Okay, ready? 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, then shift your weight onto your left leg. Stand strong on the left leg, firm up the left glute, take your right leg out to the side, kick it back. Again, we're feeling it in the glute on both sides. So the side we just got off of is gonna feel a little spicy in there. And on the right side, our standing leg, it's gonna feel fatigued as well. So again, just like the sideline work, because we're working unilaterally now, you want to work the weaker side first. So you can ignore me on the side that I chose to work with all of you, and you can work your weaker side first and then switch to your stronger side. That's fine. And again, if you need to take breaks in any of these, it's okay too. These take time to build up. And the other option is, if you're trying to power through this on a double wrap and you can't, take it down to a single wrap or go to a lighter TheraBand until you build that strength up. Okay, going back to double leg, and that's it. So this is my basic gluteal isometric series. There is more to this. I'll be filming a more advanced version of this later, but I wanted to get you all started on this now. So this is for pretty much anybody. I also like to use this for
a warm up before I'm gonna go do something outside. Say go for a hike or go for a long walk or jog or bicycle ride, whatever it is. So use that gluteal isometric series in good health. You can use it more than once a day, but I usually recommend doing it 3 or 4 times out of the week and time it before an activity, okay? I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you guys more online. If you have any questions or comments or any videos you would like to see, feel free to write anything that you wish in the comments. And then you can also send me an email at paula@alignptla.com, and I will do my best to generate the content that you are needing and craving. Until then, stay in good health and namaste.